Time is 6 p.m. The Council of the City of Denison now convenes into regular session. Tonight's invocation will be given by Steve Roberts from Trinity Lighthouse Church.
Let's bow our heads. Father, we thank you this night. Lord, we thank you so much for the country we live in, Lord. I thank you that I live in a house I didn't build and drink from wells that I didn't dig, Lord, the food you've given us and all the privileges we have here. And Lord, these men and women gather to, Lord, to do a little business and do it as well as they can. And I pray that you'll give them, Lord, mental clarity, unity of heart, the ability to carry out the work that they have to do tonight. And Lord, help all the attitudes and all the minds to be together and to have the attitudes that you would have us have. Lord, we thank you so much again for the privilege to be not only in this country, but in this state and in this city. In your name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Agenda item number 2, consent agenda.
Second.
Have a motion from Councilmember Adams, second from Councilman Raleigh. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 3A, public hearing of easement abandonment, 2800 Ray Drive.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Applicants at 2800 Ray Drive, James and Donna White, have requested that a utility easement be abandoned. They own all adjacent lots and have no plans for future development of the property. They'd like to expand the shop facility. Planning and Zoning Commission approved the easement abandonment request unanimously at their May meeting. This time, staff would recommend you hold the public hearing.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here wishing to speak to this agenda item? There being none, the public hearing is closed. Questions from council? The motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion from Councilman Brawley, second from Councilmember Adams. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Agenda item 3B, public hearings on unsafe structures of 317 West Texas, 914 West Crawford, and 514 West Home. Ms. Floyd.
Mayor and Council. Now we have 3 structures up for your consideration. I can figure out how to use this.
There you
This is 317 West Texas. On March 22nd, 2015, Lisa Oden was given notice of violation to repair or demolish the structure at 317 West Texas. The owner has failed to comply with the notice. The structure is unsafe and a fire hazard. This property is not weathertight. It has signs of foundation failure, and it's been open. It's an attractive nuisance. This is signs of damage from water from the roof. This is it again. This is the rear portion of the property. Also, on 317 West Texas, I thought I'd let you know that the taxes on this property, they did not pay 2012 or 13. They paid 14, and then they made a payment in 15. So they owe around $1,600 in back taxes, and the tax value of that structure is $10,257. (914) West Crawford. On March 22nd, 2016, Bobby Leon and Vicki Jane Penn were given notice of violation to repair or demolish the structure. The owner has failed to comply with the notice. The structure is unsafe and is a potential fire hazard. This property is an attractive nuisance. It's open. The roof is in poor condition. Like I said, it's not weather tight. This is the inside of the property. There's also back taxes due on this property for $1,020. Taxes haven't been paid for 2013, 14, or 15. And the structure value is $8,731. 514 West Hall, on March 22nd, 2016, High Family Homes LLC and Keith Gregory were given notice of violation to repair or demolish the structure at 514 West Hall. The owners have failed to comply with this, and this structure is unsafe and a potential fire hazard. This house has some roof problems. It has some foundation problems. If you can kind of look at the front of the pillars on each end, that porch is starting to give there. This is the roof, which has a hole completely through it. This is one of the rooms downstairs, and that's a hole through the mud sill. That's a hole in the roof. The tax value on this property is $38,918. The taxes are current except for the year 2015. That's it.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here wishing to speak to any of the properties listed? I know we have two at least. Ms. Waymire, come forward. I think you want to speak to the property at 317 West Texas.
Yes, I have power of attorney papers here from Lisa. Lisa does not live in this area.
If you would, please name and address for the record.
Oh, 317 West Texas.
And your name for the record.
My name is Cynthia Waymire.
Thank you.
I have power of attorney papers here, if y'all need to look at them, to speak about the property. There may have been notice sent to the house, but at the time her niece was living there, and she didn't realize the desolation, how terrible the property had gotten until last September. I'm here just to get a request for extension to start getting permits to start working on the home. We started cleaning a lot of the stuff out of the house. My husband works for LMS Restorations and 365 Restorations. So we have, go on and see the pictures. We have insulation at the house. We have a shower ready to put in the home. We have a board ready to replace the bathroom floors. We have shingles ready to repair the roof. We have windows ready to take out the windows in the front and the sides. We've tried to screw the doors shut to keep vandals out, but they've broken windows. But we do have that, we have windows ready to put in. We have siding ready to replace the front siding. We have bricks ready to level the house. All this my husband has done with other companies, and we're gonna do the work ourselves.
Okay. What's your relationship to the property owner?
She has been my best friend since 4th grade. I've spent a lot of time in that house growing up until she went to work in Virginia for the Pentagon about 10, 15 years ago. So she has not actually lived in the home. Her parents passed away and let her niece move into the home 5 years ago. And we did not understand the disrepair that the niece had done until last September.
Judd, with the back taxes,
I can notify Lisa. She knows there's some that's due, and she'll pay the back taxes, or I'll pay the back taxes.
are we allowed to make a motion contingent on those taxes being paid in the manner that we normally do these?
As far as giving additional time.
Yeah, so what we normally do is we give property owners who think they can rehab the property 10 days to pull a permit, 6 months to complete the work. So can we make a motion contingent that those back taxes are paid first within that 10-day period, and then that normal motion?
Yes, sir.
So, any questions, Ms. Waymeyer? So here's what we, and I always make this very, very clear.
Okay.
Because I want you to know, because if it was my property, I would want someone to tell me this. So I would encourage you to sit down and visit with the chief building official, Ms. Floyd, sometime in the near term, because a lot of property owners think that they just need to do a couple of things and that
No,
will get
no,
it
this
off
house
the list.
is a lot of work.
No, I understand. So a lot of work and a lot of money has to be put into that. I just want you to know what that is going into it, because 6 months from now, when you've done half the work, it will be demolished. And so I just don't want you to get through and you've spent that kind of money and it's just at a place that doesn't meet the codes.
I have to try.
Sure, I understand. So if the council's agreeable, that's what we normally do, but with the back taxes in the motion, I would think that we would want those paid prior to issuing a permit.
We're talking about 317 West Texas.
Only 317 West Texas.
Which is $1,600, correct? It's the back taxes of, okay.
Maybe could extend it to 15 days to get a little extra time instead of the normal 10.
We'll get it done.
Are you spending your own money, or are you spending your friends'?
No, she'll pay for it. She even sent me money to have it notarized. She's paying for it. Yeah. So,
Just talking about one property.
Instead of, yeah, so again, I just encourage you to.
yeah, the only thing that we're putting into it is stuff we already have on our property to fix it up. We're donating the windows and the shower in our time, is what we're doing. We have, from my husband doing work with restoration companies, he gets overflow and it's already on our property, so we're using what we already have to fix it up.
Thank you. Sybil High.
Either mayor, council,
Name and address, please.
Frank Sherrard, 611 West Candy. I'm here on behalf of Civil High, obviously, not Civil High.
Okay.
This is a property that Ms. High's put a tremendous amount of work into, and.
This is the Hall Street property.
Right. Yes. And at this point, after applying for a permit, she was then given a notice to remediate the problems on this property. After she's spent a tremendous amount of time getting the title correct, tremendous amount of time getting a building plan together. And I disagree that it is a dilapidated structure. The CAD has it right now at $83,000. I don't know if that's correct, but either way, the money that they put into it, they could have this operate in better condition and a valuable property here in town, when she's already put a tremendous amount of work into it. She's here now, going to testify, as well as our contractor, Mr. Brazil, who's willing to testify that he can get it done within whatever time period council requests before we demolish the building. So it has a lot of value to it.
Okay. So again, basically what we do is we give 10 days to pull the permit, 6 months to complete the work. So is that
Yes, sir.
everybody understands that what I just told the previous citizen, the same thing. I just want you knowing going in so that we don't get into a situation 3-4 months from now that puts you in a bad financial situation.
That's to code.
Yeah, it's bringing it to code. And so if you haven't already met with the building officials, just make sure we know what those things are. I would encourage you to do so.
Are you open to any questions?
Just curious, you say they've been putting a lot of work in. Is that post these pictures?
Well, the work has been in, the title was a mess, so there's a lot that had to go into that. And it was, I think a sheriff's sale, is that correct? Sheriff's sale. And when she got that, it was still a headache. And then there was a problem with the zoning. She made a plan for a multifamily unit. And then as it turns out, which is what it had been, then as it turns out, it has to be a single family, so we had to strike all that, and then she started going for a single family unit, and then she gets, demolished, so she's just asking for a little more time.
So when you say work, it's not work on the property, it's work about the property.
Correct.
Work.
There's the
That's good to
legal
know that the
legwork.
pictures didn't
Right.
reflect.
Yeah. No, sure. Right. But, yeah, she's put a lot of heart and soul into this already, I hate to see it just get done.
And were there back taxes on this property as well?
No, they're current as, 2015 is due, but
Right, okay. Very good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion from council? So as the discussion takes us, I think we need the customary motion for 514 West Hull, and then the modified motion on 317 West Texas. Bodyguard. Is anyone here wishing to speak to any of these properties? There being none, the public hearing is closed. Thank you, Carrie. Motion from council. Since there's only three, you probably just need to include in your motion all three properties with the parameters. So 914 West Crawford will be demolished based on staff's recommendation from the other two.
I'll make a motion that we move forward with the demolish of 914 West Crawford and our allow an extension of 10 days to pull permits and 6 months to complete the work on 317 West Texas and 514 West Hull, and the stipulation on 317 West Texas where the back taxes have to be paid
Okay.
within the 6-month term.
15 days.
15 days.
You'll amend your motion for 15 days.
I'll amend that to 15 days.
Okay, so we have, just for clarity, we have a motion to follow staff's recommendation and demolish 914 West Crawford, and a motion to give the property owners at 514 West Hull 10 days to pull a permit, 6 months to complete the work, and for the property owner at 317 West Texas, a motion that gives them 15 days to pay the back taxes, of which that time they're eligible to pull the permit, and 6 months to complete the work. Did I recap that correctly, council?
Yes.
Adams? Okay, we have a motion from council member Adams,
Second.
second from Councilman Spiegel, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item 4A, council member appointment to Tri-County Senior Nutrition. Councilman Beck served the Meals on Wheels group faithfully for years, and we need to replace that position.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to nominate Councilman Janet God for that board.
Second.
Have a motion from Councilmember Adams, second from Councilman Raleigh, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. We'll let Janet know that.
Should have been here.
Agenda item 4B, the non-emergency medical transports, Chief Boyd.
Mr. Mayor, Council, you've got before you for your consideration an ordinance to establish a franchise agreement for agencies that operate in the city of Denison, conducting non-emergency transfer patients from hospitals to nursing homes to hospitals, such as that. What this does is outline some regulatory things that they must meet for us so that we can ensure quality of care, so that we can ensure some interoperability whenever we have emergencies and we have to rely on them for additional resources. Pretty straightforward. There's some accounting in there that allows us to audit to make sure that their books are being kept properly. And there's also an establishment of radio channel requirement for them so that we can actually communicate with them in case of emergencies and things like that.
Okay. And is this the language in the agreement is pretty standard for other municipalities?
It is. It's very common for this reason. As you know, the medical community is expanding and changing rapidly, and There have been issues in the metro area of Dallas, Fort Worth, and the metro area of Houston that sort of prompted this movement with municipalities, and it's very common now. And it's very necessary for us just to know that that service is going to be provided. It's going to be provided by somebody that's reliable. And if it were not, as has been the case just south of us, they can just leave and leave that burden on us. And that creates a hardship and a financial burden on the city without any notice of it happening. So this is just an insurance policy to help prevent that.
Other questions? Motion.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion from Councilman Raleigh, second from Councilmember Adams. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. The council will now go into executive session pursuant to Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code to consult with the city attorney on Texas disciplinary rule of professional conduct, and also consult with the attorney about contemplated litigation. The time is 6:21.